Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation. And that is to the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans here in the Western Hemisphere, and to the rest scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth who look like the other nations, but through the patrilineal lineage go back to the Hebrew Israelites, all right? And what we have here is a video that's claiming by TikTokers that China has supplied majority of the name brand, products to America, where the companies that have brought them have charged you, the consumer, astronomical prices just for the logo. And now China, well, at least these TikTokers are saying that you can get that same product made out of the same material for a fraction of the price, okay? You paid $38,000 for a Birkin bag. You can get that same Birkin bag for $1,400. If these claims are found out to be true, this is going to impact the U.S. economy drastically, almost overnight, okay? Especially when this 90-day tariff pause has ended. You're going to have knockoffs flooding the market, okay? And you're not going to be able to tell the difference between the name brand and a knockoff, because at one point in time, the name brand had a logo situated and plastered on it. But now, if that name brand is removed, that logo is removed, and it's still the same material that was used before, but without the logo, to sell at a much cheaper price, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between the real and the fake. Okay? And that's what the companies, these corporations here in America, has made their empire with. Putting that logo on the so-called name brand merchandise to separate that from the off-brand or the fakes, the knockoffs. But now these TikTokers are claiming that they've been the ones supplying these corporations here in America with those name brand clothing, bags, and everything else. So if you can read between the lines, what they're saying is that they're getting ready to bankrupt a lot of these corporations here in America. And we have Trump that's saying, make America great again. When America was made great, when they could produce things, they no longer produce, they consume. It's a wrap, man. If any of this was going to get ready to be played right now is true, it's a wrap for America. It's through. It's finished, okay? This economy, as we know it, will no longer be the same if they flood the markets with knockoffs. Because you can't tell the difference anymore without that logo on it. Without that Louis Vuitton logo or that Birkin bag or that Lemon Lim or whatever they said it is, or that Nike or that Puma or whatever else, you can't tell the difference. You can't really say if that's a fake or not, because they're all being made in the same factory, or at least this is what the claims are. Okay? And another video I looked at, they said that they don't know whether or not these claims are factual because they say more than 45% of the items that they're claiming, that China's claiming to produce, is made in other parts of the world like Italy or Sweden or France or some of those countries, European countries. But who knows, man? So only time will tell, okay? So now that I put all that out there, let's watch the video.
Even as Donald Trump and Xi Jinping engage in a battle of tariffs on the world stage, something incredible is unraveling on social media. Chinese manufacturers have taken tariffs to heart and have flooded social media sites with exposés of how everything from luxury handbags, high-end sneakers to prefab houses and boats are built in China and at a fraction of the sticker price.
Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD.
This video exposes how $38,000 Hermes bags are made in China for allegedly below $1,400.
$1,400 USD for one Birkin out of factory.
Here are the details of accessories for uber luxury brands like Chanel, Estée Lauder, Louis Vuitton, and Dior being produced for a few dollars on the Chinese assembly lines.
For this one, for example, this one like 50 RMB one piece.
One piece, 50
Yeah,
RMB.
50 RMB.
That's the cost of it.
Yeah.
Another video claims that branded products being sold for hundreds of dollars in upscale showrooms are being built in China for just $6 to $8.
Yoga suits for Lululemon. Lululemon sells this jacket for nearly $100, but here only costs you $6 to $5.
This post goes on to claim that the reality of lifestyle footwear brand Birkenstocks being produced at just $10 a piece.
Black dollars, $10, and $10. Always $10.
The United States of America has imposed 145% tariff on Chinese imports, with China hitting back with 125% tariff. China is also exempt from the 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariffs.
China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. You know, it's one of those things they don't know how quite. They're proud people.
And I'm going to pause right now and say, I wouldn't be surprised if between now and sometime before this 90-day tariff pause is up, that the internet all of a sudden goes out and they blame it on China. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. I'm going to say it now. If the internet goes out or a cyber attack happens to stop the people from contacting these suppliers, these TikTokers in China to get these products here in America to offshoot that 145 or whatever tariff, I would not be surprised if the internet shuts down or gets a cyber attack where they can't make their orders anymore. Okay? All to more prove that what China said has some weight to it, that they've been making these products. Okay? So I'm going to put that out there now. I'm not going to be surprised if there's a cyber attack or the internet is taken down or TikTok is finished or something that they can use to blame on China to combat China claims that these name brand products are being made in China and sold here to America, to these corporations, to be what? Market up for a astronomical profit. Okay? I'm not going to be surprised. Okay? I'm going to be vigilant. Keep watching. Okay? Let's let it finish up.
And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well, and they don't know quite how to go about it, but they'll figure it out. They're in the process of figuring it out, but they want to make a deal.
China, China, China. Get your LED sign with factory price in China. Who doesn't like a shiny gold LED sign?
There are also some below-the-belt videos reflecting the deep divisions creeping in between the two big world economies.
And we offer 3 years warranty for it. The DHL or FedEx will deliver it to your house no matter where you are.
The suppliers behind Solomon, Timberland, New Balance, Adidas,
Nike, No big brand has been spared in this online onslaught. The videos have been made in perfect English, targeting the final customer and taking pride in the massive economies of scale in China.
Fireproof and rust-proof. 2 to 3 people can set it up.
So while America is trumpeting its tariff, China is flexing its manufacturing might. Bureau Report, India Today Television.
For Sephora, let me review the key Chinese suppliers for you.
All right, we are in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 21. It reads, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth." It doesn't get any cheaper than paying a fraction of the price of what you've been accustomed to paying. And when you flood the market with these, off-brand or, no logo type of merchandise made from the same material, that that disrupts, or that, what's the word I'm looking for? That negates the whole, social status that I'm higher than you because I have a Louis Vuitton bag and you can't afford it. You see, there's no Louis Vuitton factories here in America. There's no Nike factories here in America. That's what set the so-called stunting, or I'm stunting on you status because I can afford this and you can't. But now everybody can afford the same thing. There's no type of different status classes here. You see, that's why I said I can see them shutting the internet down or doing something, claiming a cyber attack or shutting TikTok down or something and blaming it on China, man, to keep their profit margins up, or they could be ready to just crash this whole thing. Okay? So I can very much see something playing out within the next few months, man. All right? And hey, we all for it, man. Okay? Because we understand what's to come. All right? Hard times, man. All right? If these corporations are ready to sell out, you can only imagine what they got planned. Okay? So it says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth." And don't think Walmart is omitted from this, because Walmart has a lot of their stuff coming from China. All right? All these corporations, man. Okay? There is no manufacturers here in America like that to supply the Americans with the needs that they so, much desire for. All right? A part of American society, our fabric, is consumption. That's what makes up the American society, is that they consume. All right? And when there's no longer these name brands to consume to make them feel better about themselves, because they wouldn't know whether or not these were name brands that they were wearing unless they had those logos on it. See, those logos make you dummies feel like you're superior. Oh, I got a Louis Vuitton. Oh, I got Lululemon. Oh, I got Birkin. Oh, I got Nike. I got Fila. I got Reebok. I got Under Armour. But those same products is that they use to sell you knockoffs without the name brand is being made in the same factory. Okay? And these Chinese TikTokers, are outright saying it. Now, I'm not sure if it's any truth behind it, but I know for sure Nike is made over there in China. All right? And like I said, if any of this is held up to be true, America got hell to pay, man. Okay? Because a lot of these corporations, man, hey, they don't have warehouses and manufactories here in America. And that's what Trump is trying to sell the people on. Okay? Building here in America. Nobody wants to build in America to help prop up these corporations to the point where they're making hand over fist for these products that they're selling and giving you, the laborer, only pennies, man. Okay? They giving you, the laborer, just enough, all right? While they keeping all the big margins, man. And Trump knows that, which is why they got AI and the robots to come in and take over for him, okay? They have no issue. Matter of fact, they don't want you working. They just want to say that they gave you the opportunity and that you refused it, okay? So this says, 2 Ezra 16:21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Right. Imagine if you get a Birkin bag for $1,500 that you paid $35,000. I did a lesson earlier this year that Walmart was selling knockoff Birkin bags for a fraction of the price. So imagine you getting J's that were $15,000 or however much more that you get on StockX or GOAT. If you getting that for $50, man, you gonna think you you gonna think you out there balling, man. You gonna think you balling. You playing on the court with some J's, man, and the nigga next to you, he can't say nothing about it because y'all both got on J's. It's just his got a logo and yours don't. So you balling, man. Don't nobody care about no logo, man. If I'm wearing the same shoe as you, made from the same material as you, made out of the same factory as you, what gives you the right to diss my shoe and prop up your shoe? Because it got a Jumpman logo? Come on, man. Get out of here, man. They the same shoes. So it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. They gonna think, man, we getting a deal, man. Not knowing that this getting ready to come to an end, man. It's always the quiet before the storm. You getting you a good deal. You getting everything, man. You probably got your little side hustle now. You probably doing the whole by bulk, man. You don't put Birkin, Birkin or whatever the name of the company is. Let's just say Louis Vuitton. You don't put Louis Vuitton out of business, man. You buying wholesale now because the market is flooded. Those Louis Vuitton bags ain't selling for nothing no more, man. So now all the corporations are going out of business. How long you think that's going to last for before the internet goes down? You see? So, hey, you may very well make off like a fat cat if this is found out to be true. And you can get in contact with a supplier. And let's just say you buy 10 Birkin bags for, let's just say, what is that? $1,500 a bag? 15, 3, 6, 9, right around what? $10,000 or so dollars? And you can use that and sell that and probably get at least 40 to 50,000, man. 40 to 50,000 from a 10,000 profit. From a 10,000 purchase, man. Just giving you an example. Whatever you can do because the victuals will be so good cheap. Okay? Goes into what? Victuals goes into what? Food and provisions. Okay? Your food goes into your daily bread. Your what you do to get by. All right. If you want to, market up these prices because you getting them for, the cheap, the low from China or whatever, and then you selling them over here in America, man, you can get off like that, man. I got the Nikes. They can't rag on you because you got, hey, I'm getting it from the same shop. Matter of fact, they're using the same materials. It's just that it don't got the Nike emblem on it. And they gonna, you want to, rip yours apart, rip mine apart, and you're going to see they got the same exact material running under an analysis, and you're going to see everything is made from the same material. It's just that you pay an extra $400 for that logo. Okay? And I didn't. And when that gets out, that it's proven to be the same, oh man, that's gonna change the whole the out layer of the markets, man. So it says, they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth. Sword, famine, and great confusion, right? You think you're gonna be making it big, man. Or I done came up on a lick, all right? I done found out something before everybody else did. I'm finna get off right quick. Like, little do you know, man, you gonna get off for a little bit, but then it's gonna come down to now they gonna come in with that B system. You done made out like a fat cat, but now your money got to get transferred over to this new currency. You see, all roads lead to Rome, as they say. Okay? That beast system, spearheaded by what? The mark of the beast, Rome all over again, 2.0, revive under the American, under America, that little horn. Guess what? You're going to have to get that microchip to keep your profits, man. So, hey, it's only going to get worse, man. People going to be out here scratching and clawing for just the everyday essentials, man. The famine. People going to be out here knocking people off with the sword, man. And people going to be confused on why everything is happening like this. And they ain't going to know, man. This is the end. This is the end. These elites is allowing you people, or they getting ready to allow you people to have a free-for-all. They see the end on the wall. They don't care. They finna let you get off and get the bag, as they say. And they want y'all to have a free-for-all. They want y'all out here going back and forth for the last this, the last that, the last loaf of bread, the last J, the last Birkin bag. They want y'all to go off, man. They want the chaos. They want the crises, because they already got the solution. They just need you to react to the problem. All right? And we here, okay? We here. If this is held up to be found out true, to the extent that they can allow you to get these products from them directly and not the middleman like Nike or Louis Vuitton or Birkin or whoever else that you deem to be a name brand corporation. You don't have to go to their stores, but you can just come there and get it from them. Oh man, you'll more than willingly pay 145% for the tariff, man. Because even at 145%, you still making out, okay? You still making off, man. All right? As opposed to you paying $300 for a pair of J's and then you got to mark that up 145%. You may be paying what? Close to $650 for a pair of shoes that you paid for $300. So it says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right, man. People gonna be out here, like I said, scratching and clawing for the last little bit of whatever's left. And if it come down to you or them, trust me, a lot of them gonna be carrying that sword, man. All right, and if you ain't got the hedge or the protection of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai around you, you gonna be getting taken out, man. It's just that simple. If you don't got the hedge of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, you gonna be given over to the slaughter, man. All right. So for the longest, these people, these corporations, they have been making hand over fist, from the people. Because why? They consumers, man. That's part of the America fabric society, is they consume. Okay? This is a consuming country. All right? It no longer produce as it once did back in maybe the 50s and 60s. All right? Let me see if I can look up this one precept. Or if not, we might have to get ready to close it out. Let's see. How do I go about even looking for it? It's been a while. It might be in Thessalonians. One second. Oh man, I can't. Let me give me 1 second. All right, through a little, or should I say a lot of looking, I believe I found it, which, I should have thought about it, but I'm here anyways. So this is the book of James, chapter 5 and verse 1. James 5 and 1, misuse of riches. 1, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. All right? So it's all coming to an end, man. Okay? That's all we can tell you. It's all coming to an end. All these corporations that once got fat off the consumers is going to come to an end, okay? Now, these rich men is speaking of these Edomites, okay? Because they're primarily the ones that are in charge right now. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, all right? These bankers, these elites, they the ones that's really going to feel it the most, man, okay? It says, go to now, ye rich men. Weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. So they get ready to go into straits when Yahweh Shai returns, man. Okay. But speaking on these corporations, man, okay, they finna lose out a lot. All right. Let these claims be true in any way, shape, or form. And these businesses start to lose revenue because they are competing against a market that they don't have a chance, okay? Which is why I say I strongly believe that they're going to have a cyber attack or they're going to shut down the internet or something of that nature or magnitude, okay? It says, your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten, right? Because we know these Edomites, particularly these elites, they came into their riches by the way of what? Deceits, lies, raping, plundering, and everything else. Okay, a lot of these corporations that you think, especially these corporations like Nike and Puma, just to name a few, a lot of them came up by ways you wouldn't normally associate a brand of that magnitude with. All right? I know Puma and Adidas, if I'm not mistaken, their brothers are somewhat along the line of brothers or some type of kinsmen. And just do your research about Puma and Adidas, okay? If I'm not mistaken, both of them are, they have something to do with, the I'm gonna see if I can spell it out. Nazi. All right, or something along the line with small hats or something like that. All right, they're all deceitful. All right, a lot of these name brand corporations that you think that you buy your stuff from, if you knew the backstory behind it, you wouldn't buy it. And I shouldn't say that because most of you don't even give a damn. Okay, you still gonna buy it. All right. So it says your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Right. Your riches ain't going to be able to save you from what's to come. All right. The corporations, these rich people, your 401ks, whatever else you think you got, ain't going to be able to save you. All right. We at the end of this ride. Okay. We at the end of this ride. All right. And these elites, they know that. Okay. They know they getting ready to go into slavery, man. All right. That's why they letting this thing get out of control like this. Okay. It's called control, or somewhere something along the line of controlling the fire, or it's called a controlled fire, pretty much, where they're allowing the fire to get out of hand, but they're controlling it right now. All right, but it's coming a time where, hey, even they're gonna have to pay. So it says your gold and silver is canker, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. We are in the last days, man. All right. And we seeing the fabric of this society unravel, okay? Here in America, man. And it's a beautiful thing to be a part of and witness, okay? Seeing these seeing these companies being brought out and exposed for what they are, man. Okay. And the people, hey, once this is round, and it probably ain't gonna never make it to the mainstream media, but once it make its round through social media, that's gonna be all she wrote. That's gonna be all it needs to get, legs and wings to take off, man. And if it's true, these companies, these corporations, they through. It says, ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Verse 4, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. Right, speaking of, for the most part, the Israelites, man. Because the Israelites has been what's made these companies hands over fist. You go into any factory, any warehouse, any manufactory, you're going to see mostly so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans working, man. All right? At least from the 70s up into the early 2000s and maybe the 2010s. You're going to predominantly see more so-called blacks and Latinos and Native Americans in these factories working for minimum wage. Okay? Sweating. All right? Just to keep this economy afloat, man. All right? And that's been the backbone for the longest, man. This country was built up on the backs of, Israelites, man. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? So it says, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Right, so the Lord of Sabaoth, has heard the cries of the Israelites, particularly the elect, man, which is why he's getting ready to bring down the hammer on this place, man. By the way of what? Those thermonuclear missiles and the chariots. Okay? It says, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doeth not resist you. Right? Okay? A lot of Jakes, man, they've perished. They died, on the job. Some of them died on the job, man, working with no relief in sight. No retirement, no pension, no nothing. They just had to work to the bones until they passed, man. Especially back in the days of slavery, where there was no retirement. Okay, Jake just had to work all the way into the end of his life, man. Think about that. Before Social Security and retirement, Jake was on the plantation working until he took his last breath. All right? That's why these devils got to pay, man. Okay? And that's why their society is unraveling, man. Because they got to bring in this chip quick. All right? They got to bring in this chip quick, man. And China putting it out there, man. We've been making a lot of your name brand merchandise for cheap and allowing these corporations to make off like fat cats. And how dare your president try to put a tariff on us, man, when a lot of his constituents, if you look into it, I'm sure, I don't have 100% proof, but I'm sure a lot of his constituents is behind some of these manufacturers, okay? These millionaires, all right? Because they all run in that circle, all right? Millionaires and billionaires, okay? I'm pretty sure some of these CEOs and, owners of these major corporations, they did some deals with Trump, man. All right? Because Trump, he was in the real estate game. He might still be in real estate, okay? What else was he in? All right, he did a lot of TV shows, The Apprentice. So he rubbed hands with all type of people, man. And a lot of these corporations, they've reached billions of dollars, man. So I'm pretty sure they've rubbed shoulders in some way, shape, or form, in some capacity, man. So for him to put tariffs on China, he had to know the backlash that it would have on some of these corporations, which shows you that they all part of the program, man. Okay? They just using Trump for a face, for a figure, okay? But they all in on it, man. Make no mistake about it, man. This place has seen its better days, okay? And rightfully so, man. If it wasn't for the elect, would no flesh be saved, man? Jacob still, hey, long as Jake can get him a pair of J's and a Philly or a Swisher, he good, man. Okay? And throw him back a 40. He don't care about getting out of America, man. See, if it wasn't for the elect's sake, there would no flesh be saved, man. I got the new J's, man. Or the ninja woman, I just bought me a Birkin bag. You see? Not knowing that what they just paid for, they could have bought 50 of those. All right? And that's what these China TikTokers are trying to tell the people, man. While your president is putting 145% tariff on us, they charging you 300%. 1,000%, dare I say. You see the hypocrisy behind that? But yet they claiming and yelling, make America great again. When the only reason America was great because it was founded on cheap labor. And dare I say, free labor from the slaves, man. Okay? And they coming back with that same attitude, that same entourage. They want you, the new slave, to be what? Chipped and dipped with that microchip. Okay? So this is what we getting ready to go into, man. All right? The fourth industrial revolution, merging man with machine. Okay? And we here. All right? If you have eyes to see, you can see, and ears to hear, you can hear. All right? So this is it, man. This is where we at, okay? Don't get it twisted, man. All right? So be on, your watch, okay? Things are getting ready to take off, man. All right? Like I said, I don't want to say I believe, but it kind of makes sense that they might try something like a cyber attack or internet outage or something like that as a last ditch effort, okay? To buy them some more time after these 90 days or before these 90 days. Okay, if they're not ready with the program, but if they are ready, they'll let it continue to play out. But if they're not ready, and for some strange reason they want to create more pandemonium and chaos, don't be surprised if there's an internet outage or a cyber attack and they blame it on China. Okay? So get ready, man. We here. And by here, I mean anything, okay? Anything could happen from here on out. The closer we get to these 90-day tariffs being suspended and being put back into place, the closer we are to something happening that we don't know. But we got to be prepared, man. Being in this faith, this truth, it has you prepared for anything, okay? That's why we stay prayed up, man. Because we don't know what this devil's coming with. We know he's coming because he has what? A short time. Okay, so knowing he has a short time, we got to be on our watch, man. 24/7, 365. All right? Not a day goes by you can't be watching this devil, looking in the news for something, man. All right? Screening the internet for something, looking for something. Even if you're relaxing, you're looking to see if you can bring out some type of lesson, either right then and there or later on. You constantly watching because this devil ain't taking no time off, man. All right? He ain't taking no time off, so we can't take any time off, man. All right? He wants to bring out information when you least expecting it. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock while you sleeping, man. You see? So you got to be on constant watch for this devil, man. You see something, hey, make a lesson, do something, blow the trumpet, man, in a timely manner. Don't wait 3 and 4 weeks later to do something. Do something while the Spirit's on you. Do it within that same time or a day or 2 or 3 or whatever, man. Don't wait for another month to go by or 2 or 3. Do it in a timely manner, man, because this devil, he ain't taking no time off, man. He's moving, okay? And if you fall off and take a day off, man, that's just one day farther behind you from this, one day farther behind from this devil than you would be if you didn't. Okay, so that's why we got to constantly be watching this devil, man. Okay, because he's moving, okay? He's moving, all right? And he knows he has but a short time, so he's getting ready to come with it, all right? So let's go ahead and close up with 1 Peter 5 and verse 8 on that note and read, be sober, be vigilant, okay? These Chinese TikTokers, they done told you what it is, man. You've been had, all right? They played you, okay? They played you, man, all right? These tariffs, they was just there to, squeeze the last little bit out before everything goes to what? Hell in a handbasket. 145%. They know China wasn't going to pay that, man. They getting ready to crash this shit, man. Excuse the language. They getting ready to crash this, okay? 145% from the second biggest economy behind them, America? Come on, man. They know the people ain't about to pay twice as much as what they was paying before. AI finna take over alongside the robots, and you're going to have to get on board with the program, man. You don't have the luxury of China, where China lets its citizens sell, out in the streets without having a license or whatever. Here in America, you can't do that, man. You can't set up a vendor, stand and sell, on the side of the road. No, you got to have a license, man. I remember one short I think I seen, a little girl was trying to sell lemonade on the side of the street, and they told her she got to have a license to sell that. So how much more you try to sell something? You here it is, you done got the hookup, but you got to be incognito how you distribute this. Okay, unless you got a storefront and you got a business you can sell these things in. Other than that, if you're trying to get it and sell it, and hey, I got 5 Birkin bags in the back there. Jake gonna have to go back to the damn 80s and 90s when he's selling shit out the trunk, man. Like at these swap meets. I know they got them out there in Compton, man. You see, but hey, you gonna have the real deal this time. Yeah, I got name brand. I ain't got the name, I ain't got the logo on them, but I got the same shoes for a fraction of the price. Let me check them out. Damn, them look just like the retro ones, man. Damn, them look just like the Kobe Grinch. They just don't got that Nike on it, man. They the same shoe, just minus the logo. Check them out. Put them on. See what you think. Damn, they feel good too, man. You see? Jay can't set up no vendor stand out there. He gonna have to sell out the back of his trunk, man. Unless you got a storefront. All right? So they moving, man. They know they gonna flood the market with these off-brand. Okay? Because they ain't gonna have the logos on it. But guess what? They're gonna be the same merchandise. Make no mistake about it. All right? So the end is near, man. The end is near. Okay? So be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. If you think you just came up and you finna come up and you got all the time in the world to get your hustle on, you sadly mistaken, man. Okay? You out here selling these bags hand over fist, thinking you making it, coming up. You getting close to getting that down payment for that nice, $1 million house, because now you getting closer to that. You got the 10%, 20% down payment. Here it is, the economy crash. Now you got to get this chip. Now all your money that you had, that you don't put away, either you risk losing it or you transfer it over to this digital currency on this chip. All right? A lot of Jake ain't going to be able to make that transition, because why? They don't want to give up their riches, so they ain't going to be able to make that transition without taking that chip, man. Okay? So we telling our people, particularly the elect, to what? Stay on watch, stay on guard, be sober, be vigilant. And you know why? Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Okay? So with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom. Peace.